I'm 82 years old, and I'm telling you this because I wasted a whole year. If your husband dies after you're 60, don't do what I did. Don't turn your home into a museum. I sat in this silent house for 12 months, a prisoner to my own grief. Let me tell you what happened. It started on a Tuesday. Arthur made his oatmeal. He kissed my forehead and went out to prune the roses. I found him there later, just quiet. After the funeral, my son David said, "Mom, come live with us." I said no. That first no felt strong. It was a trap. I built a fortress. I kept his shaving brush right there on the sink, his jacket on the hook. I told everyone I was fine. I wasn't. I was preserving a dead man's world. Then the bank statements came. Arthur always said, "Don't worry your pretty head." I had no passwords. I panicked. I called David crying. He tried to help over the phone. I felt so ashamed. That should have been my wake-up call. It wasn't. I retreated deeper. My granddaughter Chloe texted, "Come visit, Nana." I wrote back, "Maybe in the fall." A lie. I was scared of the airport, of everything. I started talking to Arthur out loud. The price of lemons went up. Then I'd ask him where things were. The silence would answer. I got so angry. I lived on crackers. I was a ghost. Then David called. He gently asked if I'd tried a support group. I snapped. "I don't need strangers. I need your father." The line went dead. I'd pushed my last tether away. I hung up and looked around my perfect preserved living room. I saw it then, a prison. I was the warden and the inmate. That night, I made a decision. I started with the kitchen junk drawer, his drawer. I emptied it. My hands shook. It felt like a crime. I kept a screwdriver. I threw the rest away. A strange lightness came. The next day, I cleared his old painting supplies. I kept one brush. I was curating, not destroying. Then, in a box of old files, I found an envelope. My name in Arthur's hand. My heart stopped. It was a list. "Maggie, the lawyer's number is here. The deed is in the blue folder. The roses need fertilizer in April. I love you. You can handle all of this." He'd written it years ago. He knew. He trusted me. I'd been proving him wrong for a year. I cried then. Clean, hard tears. That letter was my permission. I called David. I apologized. Then I called the senior center. I went for coffee. I just listened. A woman named Evelyn sat down. She didn't ask about Arthur. She asked if the coffee was too weak. A normal question. It was so kind. We talked about weak coffee, then parking, then her grandson. Life, real life, seeped back in. The house is different now. His chair is here, but I sit in it. His jacket is gone. but I hung a bright scarf there. The silence is just quiet now. I booked a flight to see Chloe. I'm scared, but I'm going. So listen, the love isn't in his toothbrush. It's in you. Honor it by living. Say yes to the coffee. Open the junk drawer. Start tomorrow. Don't wait a year like I did. Don't wait a year like I did. So I went to that coffee. It was just a room with folding tables, but walking in felt like jumping off a cliff. My heart was pounding. I got a styrofoam cup and sat by the wall. Evelyn, the woman I told you about, she waved me over. She patted the chair next to her. "The coffee's terrible," she said, "but the company's all right." I managed a smile. We didn't talk about Arthur. We talked about her bad knee and my roses. She said her grandson built a robot that could fetch the TV remote. I actually laughed. It was a rusty sound. That hour flew by. When I left, the sunlight felt different, not so harsh. I started saying yes to small things. I went to the grocery store on a different day just to see different faces. I said yes when my neighbor asked me to feed her cat. A living thing needed me. It was a tiny responsibility, but it got me out of bed. I even called the doctor and rescheduled my appointment. The nurse on the phone was so nice about it. I wasn't a ghost to her. I was just Mrs. Henderson, needing a checkup. But the house, it still felt heavy. I'd done the junk drawer, but his closet was still full. One morning, I just opened the door. His smell, that mix of Old Spice and wool, hit me. I sat on the floor and cried for a bit. Then I stood up. I called David. "I'm doing the closet today," I said. My voice shook. He was quiet for a second. Then he said, "Do you want me on the phone with you?" I said yes. So I did it with my son in my ear. He told me about his work, about Chloe's soccer game. I made piles, keep, donate, a few things for David. My hands didn't shake as much this time. When I zipped up the last bag for the charity truck, I was exhausted. But it was a good tired, like I'd done real work. The biggest thing was the chair, his armchair by the window. I hadn't touched it. One afternoon, I just sat in it. It felt wrong at first, like I was trespassing. But the sun was warm on the fabric. I picked up my book and read a chapter there. I fell asleep. When I woke up, for a second I didn't know where I was. Then I felt peaceful. He wouldn't have minded. He'd have wanted me to be comfortable. I started planning the trip to Seattle. Just thinking about the airport made my chest tight. So I broke it down. I called the airline myself. The woman helped me pick an aisle seat. I wrote the confirmation number on my calendar in big letters. I told Chloe my flight date. Her excitement was like a light through the phone. "We'll have so much fun, Nana," she said. I believed her. Then, last week, I had a bad day. It just came out of nowhere. I missed him so much, it was a physical ache. I looked at the flight info and thought, I can't do this. I almost called David to cancel, but I didn't. Instead, I went for a walk. I walked to the park and watched some kids on the swings. I came home and made myself a proper soup. I let myself be sad without letting it drown me. That's the difference now. The grief isn't a room I live in. It's a visitor. Sometimes it stays for tea. Sometimes I have to show it the door. That's the difference now. The grief isn't a room I live in. It's a visitor. Sometimes it stays for tea. Sometimes I have to show it the door. But then I packed for Seattle. I folded a blouse Arthur always liked. I put it in the suitcase. Then I took it out. I just stood there in my bedroom, holding that blouse, and it hit me. The full cost. I'd lost a year, 365 days. I sat on the edge of the bed and I counted them. The mornings I didn't see the sunrise. The afternoons I didn't call a friend. The evenings I just stared at his chair. A whole year of my life gone. And I'm 82. I don't have years to waste. I called Chloe. She answered all bright and happy. Nana, are you excited? And I broke. I just started sobbing. I couldn't talk. She got quiet. Then she said, It's okay. Just breathe with me, okay? In and out. I tried. My breath was all hiccups and tears. Finally, I said it. I'm so sorry, Chloe. I missed a year of you. She was quiet for a long time. Then she said, her voice thick too, But you're coming now. That's what matters. Her forgiveness hurt more than anger would have. The hardest part was the airport. I was in the security line, my heart pounding like a drum. A young TSA agent saw my hand shaking as I tried to get my laptop out. He said, "First time flying, ma'am?" I looked at him. I said, "No, first time living in a while." He didn't laugh. He just nodded gently and helped me with my bin. That small kindness undid me. I got through security, found my gate, and I cried. Right there at gate B7. I cried for the woman too scared to get on a plane a year ago. I cried for the empty chair at my kitchen table. I cried because I was doing it. I was so scared, and I was doing it. The flight was long. I looked out the window at the clouds. I thought about Arthur's letter. You can handle all of this. He wasn't just talking about the water heater. He was talking about life. The whole messy, scary, beautiful thing. I'd let myself believe I couldn't handle any of it without him. I made myself small and quiet. I traded my life for a shrine. That was my mistake. That's what I don't want you to do. When the plane landed, my legs were jelly. I walked to baggage claim, and there was Chloe. She saw me and her whole face lit up. She didn't just wave, she ran. She pushed through people and wrapped her arms around me, right there by the carousel. She smelled like sunshine and shampoo. She held me so tight, and I knew this was living. This right here. It was hard and it hurt, and it was absolutely worth it. That taught me what love really is. It isn't a museum ticket. It isn't a shrine you dust. It's not keeping everything exactly the same until you die, too. That's not loyalty. That's fear. Love is a living thing, and living things need air and light and space to grow. I was smothering it. I was smothering myself. Arthur didn't fall in love with a museum curator. He fell in love with a woman, a living, breathing woman who could laugh and get angry and learn how to use a password. By trying to preserve everything, I was letting the best part of me, the part he loved, wither away. I was honoring a ghost and killing the person he left behind. That's the cruelest trick grief plays on you. It convinces you that stopping is the same as loving. So here's my advice, plain and simple. Don't do what I did. Don't let the first no become your only answer. When your son or daughter offers help, say yes. Tell me how this works. When a friend calls, answer, even if you just listen. That first cup of coffee in a room full of people will taste like fear. Drink it anyway. Start with the junk drawer, not the wedding album, the junk drawer. It's not about throwing him away. It's about claiming your own space, 1 inch at a time. You'll know what to keep. Your hand will reach for the screwdriver, the one good brush. You'll know. And for God's sake, learn about the money. It's not about being pretty-headed or not. It's about being an adult in your own life. The shame you feel isn't yours to carry. Put it down. And the talking to him? You'll probably do that. I still do. But change the conversation. Stop asking him where things are. Start telling him what you're doing. Arthur, I fixed the drip in the faucet. I'm going to see Chloe today. Include him in your life. Don't live in his. The chair, the jacket, they're just things. The love is in you. It goes where you go. To Seattle, to the senior center, to the park. It doesn't stay in the closet. You still have time. Maybe not decades, but you have now. This day, this hour. A year is a precious, terrible thing to waste. I look back on that year and I don't see grief. I see emptiness. A hollow, silent performance for no one. Don't waste your year. Start tomorrow. Not with a grand plan, with one thing. Make a proper meal. Call that friend. Open the blinds. The pain will come. Let it visit. Then make it a cup of tea, and when the cup is empty, show it to the door. You are still here. That is not a tragedy. It is your responsibility, and it is your gift. I'm recording this because if my story keeps one person from sitting in that silent prison for a year, then this past year wasn't a total loss. Maybe that's why Arthur left me that note. He knew I'd find it when I was ready to be challenged, not just comforted. So I'm passing that challenge to you. Don't just survive, live. It's the only real tribute that matters. If this resonated with you, if you're in that quiet house right now, please do something for me. First, take a breath. You're not alone. Then, if you found a little hope here, subscribe to this channel. It's not for me. It's so you don't miss the next story that might be the one you need to hear. Turn on those notifications. Sometimes the right words at the right time make all the difference. If you can, leave a like. It's a small thing, but it tells the algorithm to show this to another person who might be sitting in their own quiet kitchen, staring at an empty chair. And most importantly, leave a comment. Tell me one small thing you'll do for yourself this week. Just one. Or share a memory of your person. Let's build a community here that's about moving forward together. If you have a story of your own about finding your way back after a loss, there's a link in the description to submit it. Your words might be someone else's lifeline. And finally, share this. Share it with that friend you've been worried about but didn't know how to help. Sometimes the hardest conversations start with, "I saw this video." For those asking, I've put a link below to a book that helped me understand grief wasn't a place to live. It's okay to need a guide. Thank you for listening to an old woman's confession. That red light is off now. I think I'll go for a walk. My suitcase is by the door. The world is waiting, and so am I.